but then we get blamed for so many things. You know, it's like, wow, okay, now I know what it's like to be an elected official, and my kids are with the schools being closed, because I still have 3 kids in the system. They look at me and says, what the heck are you guys doing in there? Don't you guys listen to us? So listen to the community. And I hope that your other colleagues will also listen. Stop stressing the people in your Maddox. Stop stressing the schools from FQ Sanchez about shutting down their school, because I know, and I know Mrs. Tanatongo, and I know the other board members are not willing to support the closure of FQ Sanchez. And I know that because when they look at us, we give them that Atambaba look. Leave our schools alone down south. You should be giving us more than taking away from what we have, the little that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to have to ask you the same question. Turn your mic on, please.
I support the bill, and you know what? If these people are going to go down and protest in the legislature, I'll be right there in front of them.
Thank you very much. Senator Ruggan?
This is Wasi. Thank you very much to, what about your women power representatives from the South? Thank you who are on the board. I want to extend my appreciation, but Anita, you know, you asked, why do we need a law? That's a very, very good question. Why is it that in the last 2 or 3 years, the very same issue has come up repeatedly about possibly closing down the school? So in terms of moving in the direction of passing a law, in this case, I think we need it. I really think we need it. Otherwise, we're going to come full circle again next year. And because of budgetary considerations, maybe some people may push to close FQ Sanchez Elementary School. And then 2 years from now, I think Ms. Rosario Canata mentioned it a little earlier, that as a teacher, she's asked and she's considered a possibility of relocating over here to this school, but she doesn't know if the school's going to be around the next year. We got to stop that concept or that idea. Just because we're looking at monetary factors, to me, you weigh the finances, but then you weigh the mission of the Department of Education. And that is to educate our students. And we have a very successful community here that students are being educated exceptionally well to the extent of 70% or 57% reaching the 70 percentile. But that's why we need this. And that's why I'm going to continue to support Senator Rector and the move to get this into law, so that once and for all we can assure the community of Umatak and assure the 2 board members here, Southern representatives, that yes, you no longer have to fight for whether the school is going to be open, but maybe you have to fight for more money to come down to build a playground and some of those other requirements. Sige ba, so I'm going to put St. Magi is South. Like, I drove twice in the last week through Malesso. And if any of you have driven down through Malesso, you had to cross 2 bridges. Not 1 bridge, but 2 bridges with how many lanes? 1 lane. And you know, I was told that those bridges, unfortunately it went down in my absence when I was in Afghanistan, but I was told that those bridges have been down for 3 years. So you tell me, why is it that when it comes to circumstances that deal with the South, that for some odd reason the South gets left out in the dark? The same concept. Those bridges, I was told on Tuesday night at a public hearing that $75 million has been expended and has been let out for contracts to fix our roads and our bridges. Well, guess what? None of that $75 million is to take care of these 2 bridges. And that was the question that I had posed to the director of DPW. And I said, you know, if you had $75 million, I understand the requirements of the Central and the North in terms of being able to take care of that. But when you have 2 bridges that provide only 1 single lane, to me that's a health hazard. Secondly, it's an issue when it comes to, that's a primary lane. It's not a secondary roadway. It's a primary roadway for the community of the South and for the people of Malesu and also Omatai. So, that really concerns me in terms of issues dealing directly with our people here in the South. And that I think is reflective of why we may need a law, or why we would need a law to ensure that school remains open for the next 15, 20 years and continues to educate students who are learning and who are exceeding the national percentile. And then hopefully I can push for the bridge, and they have federal funds, so that's a separate issue, Mr. Chairman. But I just wanted to bring that up as an example, because when it comes to the South, we got to be very careful and remember that we have our people in the South too that need to get the services and need to be provided as much support as possible. But thank you again for your testimony. And Gary, thank you for taking the initiative. You didn't look too nervous up here in front of us, so maybe next time, continue to speak out on behalf of the village. Thank you very much, folks.
Ms. Tongo?
Okay, Senator, since the two of you, Senator Matt Rector and Senator Frank Algun, are here, I know that we do need a playground. Is there a possibility that you can
All right.
find
Let's
some
keep this
money?
one open first.
But the kids really need a playground.
All you got to do is ask me, and we'll work on it.
Okay, so
Thank you.
you'd be looking forward then and coming together to ask for more money to build a playground. Thank you very much.
You came to the right person. Folks, first off, let me thank each and every one of you for coming down and coming out this morning. I know everybody's got busy things on a Saturday and you want to spend time with your families. The success of this school isn't just the success of the students. It's not just the success of the staff and the faculty. It's not just the success of the mayor. It's the success of the entire community. It takes a community to make a school work. That's why this school is so special, and that's why, not just for the last 2 or 3 years, but for the last half a decade, I've been coming down here and fighting to keep this darn school open, because it's the way it's supposed to be. Folks, people keep talking about how, it's too much, we're spending too much on this school, we're spending too much per student. No, we're not. The problem is we're not spending enough per student on every other school. That's the problem. Maybe if we started doing that, every other school would start getting the same test results and the same success stories that you get. But you know what? The only way we're going to keep this going, and the only way this bill is going to pass, if you guys continue to do what you're doing now. Participate in your democracy, fighting for your families, fighting for your community. I've got cards up here with every senator's phone number. Call them. Get your family to call them. Tell them that your school is too valuable to your families to close down. Tell them that you need good jobs for your families, that you should have sick leave. You have to get involved, because if you don't, I guarantee you someone else is. You ever notice that there's no bridge out on San Vitores Road? Those people get involved in their democracy. I went to a fundraiser, to a function last night where all the rich and the powerful were greasing the palms of all the senators and the business guys. I didn't see Frank Uggan there, and I felt very uncomfortable there. They generally don't like me, that crowd. But you know what? They participate. We might not have the money, but each and every one of you vote. Use your power. You are far more powerful than them. Pick up the phone, make the phone call. Thanks everybody for coming out. We're going to consider this bill 95 heard. And for the next 10 days, you can submit testimony on my website, www.mattrector.com. You can fax it to us at 734-8085, or deliver it to the office, or you can even write it down and give it to the mayor, and I'll have it picked up and submitted on the committee report. Folks, thank you for participating in your democracy. We'll consider this hearing closed. Don't forget, together we win in our community. Thank you.